We live in a world where attention is the most valuable commodity to any Fortune 500 company, where data can be harvested and sold like the oil of the brain, where followers and likes dictate the value of one's very soul. But when advertising is the source of all evil, there needs to be a middleman willing to do the dirty work. Well, this has certainly been a long time coming, hasn't it? TikTok is a social media app that's risen in prominence over the last few years, gaining over 1 billion users and subsequently creating a very specific type of internet culture unlike any other before. And it's bad, actually. Are you okay? I can see you're visibly shocked. I know, I was surprised too. So today we deep dive into the nightmare that is TikTok, where the worst of human deviants come out to play, endlessly collecting their social validation loops, addiction, culture, scandal, the music industry, the attention economy, fame, Mia, validation, radicalization, threats to national security, and of course, women. What are they doing? And why are they doing that? I was even able to convince some prominent TikTokers to go on record with me about their experience, as well as looking at leaked internal documents from TikTok itself regarding shady policies and practices. And what I found was truly horrifying. So, what's wrong with Clock apps? Well, TikTok bad. This admittedly got a bit out of hand. Whatever, let's give it the old college try. Why TikTok bad? Allow me to explain in excruciating detail. We will start on the surface together and then plunge our way down the rabbit hole. And let me tell you, it is not a fun ride. Look, man, I needed to make another hour-long special. My creativity is just overflowing, and also my IMDb page needs a new addition. Don't look at me like that. You people came here for blood, and god damn it if I'm not gonna deliver. TikTok is a social media app with over 1 billion monthly active users. That's more people than there are on the planet. And if you discuss the social media giant with any average viewer, the first thing they'll always tell you is just how addictive it is. This kind of seems to be the center of a growing problem in society, the heart of this terrible puzzle. This is the root of all evil, as it were. Just how much of your time is TikTok unintentionally sucking away? It feels like one minute you're just casually scrolling through dangerous challenges and legally grey gyrations, and then the next moment you're watching the most depraved and immoral video you've ever seen in your life. Also, it's been 3 hours. This is the worst thing I've ever seen ever.
This is why Bo Burnham is the GOAT. CEO entrepreneur, born in 1964.
This is entirely purposeful. The app wants to consume your time, and it's gotten extremely good at it. TikTok's interface is specifically designed to maximize viewer retention. And much like a Mia Cole YouTube video, that graph only goes up, baby. This is, of course, to serve the most ads to consumers. Cause nothing is sacred, and we were abandoned on this rock long ago. And for the millennials watching, advertisement is how TikTok make money. Money good. After speaking to several people about TikTok, this seemed to be their #1 concern. No matter what age you are, you're nothing more than a fresh-faced outsider ready to be corrupted by the algorithm. Sounds familiar, sign me up.
How much time does TikTok consume from you?
1 billion fucking hours a minute. Like such a disgusting amount of time.
Pause. Who the fuck is this? This is prominent comedian and inflation artist Ro Ramden.
I didn't know that you agreed with Ye on that much stuff, but yeah, we can get to the interview, regardless.
Boasting just over 300,000 followers, Ro Ramden is an internationally wanted arms dealer who should be put on trial for the countless number of crimes she's committed. Also, she's my best friend. And while we're at it, I guess, this is foreign man in a foreign land.
I'm probably like doing some ableist shit right now.
YouTuber, TikToker, adjectives. And this is Turb.
I'm very evil and I'm a dictator, and I like to stab people in my free time.
I hate Turb. Turb and I are public enemies, and we pray on each other's downfall every day. But also, he's a TikToker.
My daily average for TikTok is 3 hours, 43 minutes.
I deleted the app on my phone because it is bad. Like, it is bad for your health. It conditions you to experience and expect immediate gratification.
I assume that if we did like studies, it would be comparable to drugs.
Even creators are affected by the addictive nature of this godforsaken app. It's genuinely scary how good these companies are at capturing your attention. The algorithm is trained in the precision art of captivating the human psyche. Meaning, if you like a Charli D'Amelio video, the algorithm knows what you are. I know what you are. Why are you trying to hide? But what is TikTok's retention strategy, and why is it so effective? In the new age ADHD brains of the younger generations, how does it continue to average 90 minutes per user a day? It's at this point where I start to wonder if this correlation is actually coincidental or causal. I mean, there's no way TikTok did this to us, right? Right? Attention span small, 60-second, that's how they do it. If you're mindlessly scrolling on TikTok and you even get remotely bored, it takes less than a second to swipe that away. And boom, suddenly you're delivered a brand new fresh piece of content for you to sink your little consumer teeth into. And in a sinister way, That's almost comforting, right? Their ideology is that of constant entertainment, never be bored again. TikTok is good for you. TikTok loves you. TikTok is here to help you. Except it's not though. It's about advertising. It's about data logging. You think these people care about you? They don't give a shit about you. I care about you. I have everything you need right here. You just stay with me. You're a sheep to them. You're hooked up to the content farm and suddenly your brain is getting hit with the highest dosage of dopamine it's ever seen in its tiny little life. And suddenly you're like, yes, I like that. I want more. I want more, goddammit. Feed me now. Now they've got you hooked. Good luck. Now, take all of those factors and shove them into the racing minds of teenagers and suddenly you've got yourself a recipe for a hit new app. And I don't know about you, but I'm starting to wonder a lot less about why ADHD is on the rise. I don't know. I have no idea. Why is it, I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. I'm obviously not claiming anything. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm but a lowly PhD. It's really interesting though, right? And in the last few years, we've successfully lowered the standard of content and also inexplicably breezed through like 8 extra rotations of content metas. We're just that good. You see, there's currently a war going on, a war between short form and long form. The two major players obviously being YouTube and TikTok. However, at least for the time being, it seems that short form is the new and exciting thing. I guess the only thing to do is adapt accordingly, so get ready for new Mia Cole shorts every day at 5 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss this fun and exciting regurgitated content. No, you don't get it, because it's like the content they already made, except like this, and also you don't get to choose if you watch it or not, and also nobody makes money. Isn't this better? I feel like this is better. The vertical video format isn't just TikTok though. It seems like in the last year, every single app has adopted some sort of swiping feature. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, even Spotify. What are you doing, man? What is this? Nobody asked for this, come on. So everything is TikTok now, great. It's safe to say we're not escaping this for a while. When a company smells profit, there's nothing stopping it from destroying everything and everyone in its way, even if that means mangling its own interface. That's not a political statement. Don't read into that. I'm neutral, actually. I'm Brandon down the middle. So if we're gonna fold to the machine, and look at us, we very much are, it's probably important to figure out what this infinite scrolling hell is doing to us. How does all of this affect our brains? What does this constant flow of serotonin do to the minds of a generation? Gen Z is a pretty significant majority of the users on this app, so we should probably figure out just what's going on here. For as long as the internet's existed, we've all felt pretty confident in just kind of sending kids down the rabbit hole and seeing what happens later. So at this point, it's probably been long enough. Someone should probably check on these people. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Thus, I set out to understand just how this app impacts the minds of youths. A feat no one has ever even thought of before. Yeah, you could say I'm kind of a trailblazer. I'm kind of a hero to this generation, honestly. People always ask me what it's like being so smart and funny and talented, but you know, it's a burden I'm willing to take on for my country. God bless America.
Hi, my name is Jason, and I'm a TikToker, unfortunately.
Hi, my name is Donnie Matamu, and I TikTok.
How does TikTok affect your mind?
Badly?
We lost him! We fucking lost him!
It slowly eradicates every cell in it. It slowly kills me every time I use it, because it's never for like a short amount of time. It's always a long period of time. When staring at a little, not even a 16:9 screen, but just like the tiniest screen that you can really afford, it's decimating.
When it comes to using the app, I get caught in like a loop of just scrolling when I could be doing other important things. So, you know, great.
How do you feel about TikTok?
I think it's slowly killing our generation.
Why?
Honestly though, it makes sense. I think that we're like dying within reason. What are we supposed to focus on? Life? What the fuck is that? It's like, what are we living for, if not for the little pixels on our smartphones?
I remember I used to be obsessive about like the time of day I would post, the amount that I would post, when I would be on the app after I posted. It was really like meticulous and obsessive, so that was definitely not good. I've gotten better about it.
Donnie, are you happy?
Fuck no, not even a little bit.
Denial is a river in Egypt! You are experiencing psychosis!
TikTok culture culture. What is it, where is it, and why am I already irrationally angry about it? Look, if there's one thing we can all unify around, it's the fact that sometimes, just sometimes, this app is hell to scroll on. Like the incessant stupidity of the comment section, or a full-fledged public mental breakdown, or a bunch of kids bullying an old man on live. Every time I open this wretched application, I'm reminded more and more that we were abandoned alone on a rock, flinging through space at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and just maybe, if we're lucky enough, we'll be flung right into the sun. TikTok culture is a hard concept to encapsulate in just one video. The idea of a single, unified TikTok culture is inherently reductive due to the sheer size of the platform. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that TikTok culture is just the one specific one that we all kind of mentally envision when we think of it, right? It's that Gen Z comedy dance type videos. Basically, anyone who comments WRIZ at exceedingly inappropriate times. That should be a good classification method, and also a crime. It's the part of TikTok that specifically created the idea of people being their own main character. And when I say created, I do mean popularized, but those are basically the same thing now. Just like how when dance videos created by black creators are credited to the white creators who popularized them. That's just a cool, fun little fact for you. Anyway, I find myself returning to the idea of main character energy pretty often though, just because it speaks to a sense of arrogance, right? The idea that you're the center of the universe, always, forever. But then I think about the other related concepts introduced to us by this TikTok culture, my favorite of which definitely has to be the NPC. NPC, as used in TikTok speech, is a term used to describe those who are exceptionally boring or uninteresting people. Deriving its meaning from video games, the non-player character is just kind of like a bot that's kind of running around, I think. I don't know. I don't play video games. So it's a character you can't play because it's not your... So it's meant to delegate those of notability versus those who don't affect one's life. I find myself returning to this concept a lot because it's one of the most outwardly arrogant, pretentious, and even sometimes elitist lines of thinking I've ever had the privilege of seeing. When you grow up on the internet, you learn to develop a particular taste for this naive camp nature of obliviousness some people seem to have. While I do instinctively cringe when a Zoomer calls a 40-year-old a boomer or the quiet kid in their math class an NPC, there is something kind of special about an arrogant asshole not knowing they're an arrogant asshole. And isn't that just tasty? I watch in awe as they entertain me. Entertain me, peasant. Who's the NPC now? And that's exactly the kind of culture TikTok breeds. An aptitude for being arrogant while thinking you're engaging in radical self-love. That's awesome. Not because it's good, just because it's fun to watch. You're stupid and I love you. I find it hilarious and I just want more. Oh boy, feed me now. Please feed me, I'm so hungry. Oh boy, feed me now. Yes, yes, please. Script is weird today. It's not an instinct derived from envy or even a feeling of righteous justice. I just simply love observing assholes in their natural habitat. What? And luckily, the internet has plenty of that. When your worldview is that you are the main character, everyone else around you is side characters, and people you don't interact with are NPCs, you tend to be a bit of a narcissistic egomaniac, which is to say you qualify for US citizenship. Congratulations. I'm saying this as if I'm not an egomaniac as well, but at least my shit is justified. Do you see the runtime on this video? I'm a god. Streamers, feel free to pause here to tell chat why I'm the GOAT. You know, I'm starting to think I'd fit in pretty well on this platform. Comment below if I should start a TikTok. Although it is more than fun to continuously entertain myself by looking down on these people, let's not forget that this medium is also ripe for breeding this kind of arrogance, albeit at a much lesser scale. But look at me, I'm a great example of why some people don't deserve rights. When the realization hits that this app has a stranglehold on the Gen Z market and will continue to affect the younger minds of generations for as long as it's allowed unregulated access directly into the very souls of young people today, it's suddenly a little less funny now. A few months ago, in a less superior project of mine, I said this. Have you ever been outside and saw someone with a very specific look that maybe you can't explain, but you just kind of thought to yourself, wow, that is a very chronically online individual? And or an average bisexual. They're kind of the same. Based. Mia is so smart. Mia is the smartest person I know. Actually. Chronically online individuals whom adopt hyper-specific internet aesthetics easily identifiable in the real world, otherwise known as degenerates, or when they travel in packs, a dongle, really cement in my mind the idea of internet people, mainly because I'm one of them, fucking look at me. But when this medium dominates this generation so much, and simultaneously turns teens into internet people, at what point is it just designing a generation of humans? I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back on these years, decades in the future and remember TikTok as the arbiter of style. I'm crying and throwing up at the idea of it right now. And I say all of this as someone who unironically has a kind of internet aesthetic to her. I can't help it, I'm just that good. Here's the way I look at it. There's TikTok culture and there's TikTok in culture. And while neither of them are great, I would take my chances with TikTok culture every day. Because there's nothing more terrifying to me than the idea of total and utter domination of short form content. Don't get me wrong, I think short form can be great. I've seen it done really well by a few creators. But I think everyone can agree, even the TikTok fans, like 90% of it is garbage though. Now within that garbage, there are absolutely gems, don't get me wrong. But what you'll often find is the deeper you go below the surface, the more you'll end up hating what you find. I observe TikTok in my everyday life, not because I use it. I was lucky enough to escape that cycle months ago, but I see other people around me using it, and it's genuinely scary. The constant overstimulation of content flow, this instant gratification machine. But yet, this is unfortunately the hill we've decided to die on as a society. So, let's stop looking at this issue so broadly. We have to dive deep into the world of TikTok to see just what we gotten ourselves into.
And we lose the vocab bowl, I kill the dog.
Chapter 3, a brief and non-comprehensive yet terrifying rundown of TikTok's past controversies, cause I guess I have nothing better to do with my life. And strap in, cause these are insane. Like, I'm genuinely shocked as to how some of these flew under my radar. There's nothing in here anyway, I don't know who I'm kidding. Maybe you've heard some of these, but either way, it's juicy gossip. And by juicy gossip, I mean ableism, racism, and foreign policy violations. 1. 2020, the little BLM debacle. In this fun little PR disaster, TikTok briefly blocked, or I'm sorry, had a teeny bitty little display glitch that mysteriously showed activist hashtags as having 0 views. A classic hallmark of being shadow banned. Apparently these hashtags were flagged for hate speech, or possibly anti-bullying. I don't know. TikTok doesn't seem to know either. Either way, naturally they had to shut down evil phrases such as pro-black, black success, as well as BLM, Black Lives Matter, so on and so forth. Crazy how that works, man. You think they'll notice? And you know what? If that's a one-time thing, that's fine. Terrible optics, but you know what? We all make mistakes. We all, deserve a second chance, as long as they don't do anything else that's super shady and might threaten their credibility. 2. 2022, data in China. Okay, real quick, this is gonna be a reoccurring theme throughout this video, so I want to address this now. When we talk about the problematic nature of Chinese companies having access to US data, let's be very clear. The criticism and the negativity is for the government, not the people. The government. Xenophobia is a very real thing that definitely happens, especially when discussing this specific issue, but I want you to know now, that is not what this is. So I'm gonna be sensitive, but in this video, people does not equal government. Got it? Good. I better not see any terminally online brain-broken takes in the comment section about this. You have been warned. Now, you'll never believe this, but guess what TikTok got caught doing? Which, fun fact, goes against their testimony from earlier where they told Congress that that was not possible. So, if you had violation of national security, racism bots, and now perjury because nothing matters anymore, I'm beyond delighted to inform you that you got a fucking bingo. Congratulations. 3. 2020, data collection fucky wucky. So, in 2020, TikTok was sued for improper collection of data from minors. Yay! As well as nearly 90 million users' sensitive data. TikTok in a statement denied these claims and then proceeded to pay out $92 million. So, I can't say whether they did it or not, but I'm pretty sure they did. 4. 2020, the ugly content policy. Okay, this one is definitely my favorite one just because of how blatantly evil it is. Like, it's almost campy. Cause it would totally be weird and creepy if TikTok had an actual policy specifically hiding content for people deemed less physically appealing than others, right? Here's a leaked internal document of that policy. Abnormal body shape, chubby, have obvious beer belly, obese, or too thin, not limited to dwarfism, ugly facial looks, including disformatted face, fangs, lack of front teeth, senior people with too many wrinkles, obvious facial scars, or facial deformities, not limited to eye disorders, crooked mouth disease, and... What? Here's why they did it. The character himself/herself, the character, these people literally treat you like pawns in their game of social capital, is basically the only focus of the video. Therefore, if the character's appearance or the shooting environment is not good, the video will be much less attractive, not worthy to be recommended to new users. Jesus Christ, man. You're like the bad guy, right? Like, that's some villain shit. 5. 2020, deleting and shadow banning videos regarding, how do I say this without getting demonetized? Certain atrocities committed by certain countries on a certain minority group. Yeah, let's go with that. So TikTok was just caught flat out censoring these videos, which obviously is not okay. That should be instantly disqualifying alone for a company's reputation. That's disgusting. I don't care what you say about the app, whether you like it or not. In my mind, screw TikTok forever. Unfortunately, there's not really much we can do about it. This app is far too ubiquitous and addictive for people to give up on it. And whether we like it or not, short form is here to stay. Which is why, naturally, people have figured out how to maximize growth on it. Because where there's controversy, there's attention. And who doesn't love attention more than musicians?
You got something to say? Wow!
TikTok dominates the music charts. Every popular song nowadays can most likely at least attribute a small amount of its success to TikTok. Now, obviously this makes sense. TikTok is an app built from entirely music and other copyrighted content, which somehow, even though this video is excessively long, we just don't have time to get into today. Suffice to say, record labels and distributors have just kind of begrudgingly accepted their new master after seeing the sales numbers. Every time a new song goes viral or a star is born, it always comes back to TikTok. It's just always there. Not only does it dominate the regular radio waves, there have also just been literal stations that have popped up just to play TikTok music. No, thank you. Someone make them stop now. So with all that being said, maybe we should take a minute to understand this. Besides, this video's not long enough yet anyway. There are two types of growth on TikTok, organic and non-organic, the two genders. Organic growth on the app is when a song or musician just blows up out of nowhere purely off its own merit. This can happen in two ways. The first way being the gold standard, where a TikToker randomly finds the song and creates a trend or something. Whatever you people do, whether that be a shitty dance trend or a joke template, etc. This is the gold standard because think about it. It's marketing 101, people. With no overhead budget nor astroturf trend setting, that may be the only thing in this world that could bring a marketing major to have a single human emotion. Congratulations. Couple that with the fact that the artist name and song title are embedded in every video it's used on, I'm starting to understand why these little goblins allow this. You little submissive little beta. Someone please make her stop talking. Please, for the love of God, make it stop. I did not write that joke. Shut up. This whole system can only really continue because they see results. Songs will occasionally blow up months or even years after they're released just because some teenager found it and thought it was funny, unknowingly unleashing a forest fire of earworms on the general public, all just for a silly little joke. Are profit margins a game for you? The second type of organic reach is artist marketing. This is where musicians will typically perform their music or sing along to it, try to start a trend. The hope being that it'll start gaining a wider audience and thus bringing it to more people. This is generally accepted amongst TikTok because it still feels homegrown, like they're not trying to hide anything. You know what their intentions are, they know what their intentions are, everybody's happy. It's still got that organic, homegrown feel to it. This is especially true when artists don't have a lot of followers yet. When massively popular musicians do it, people start asking questions about how involved their label is. I mean, at a certain point, it's like demeaning, right? There have been many examples of artists just having their label thrust upon them these TikTok requirements and just not doing well. So yes, it is demeaning, but at a certain point, if you're gonna swim with the sharks, you might as well do it in style. I respect the hell out of these artists. They probably don't want to be doing this shit. I mean, after all, the reasoning behind this is there are so many examples of artists blowing up their streaming numbers massively because the shit works. It's been proven time and time again you can effectively market yourself as long as you try to form a genuine connection with your audience and not talking down to them. But yeah, at the end of the day, people are still gonna make fun of you. As a great philosopher once said, hating is good, actually. Now, at the end of the day, this is all marketing, and your initial reaction to that might be shock because people don't like being advertised to. But that's kind of just the thing, right? It's all about optics. Everything in life is optics, honestly. Nothing matters. Don't do, say. Don't act, say you will act. That's how all of this works, right? This doesn't look like advertising. This looks like someone's dream coming true. At least that's the story you go with anyway. You can't tell me out in the field merit alone will magically make a song popular in the same way it could on TikTok. Perhaps it could at a certain point in an artist's career, but when you're just starting out, you don't have that level of reach. I wonder if this applies to anything else. If this exact video were filmed with a high budget production and a little sponsored logo next to it with the same song, I'm still willing to bet it would get significantly less streams. But that doesn't stop record labels from weaseling their way around this. Musical astroturfing. Musical astroturfing is a term I just made up, so cite me, bitch. Artists and labels paying large TikTokers to use a specific song in one of their videos in an attempt to look like organic growth, but in actuality, it's just a modern day payola scam. It's slimy, but it's also so juicy. I would watch a 2-hour YouTube documentary on the origins of that sound effect. There have been a lot of numbers thrown around, but suffice to say, TikTokers at a certain level are gonna make a lot of money off this. I mean, I guess I'd rather be paid to promote a song than, I don't know, weight loss tea? Is that still a thing? Forgive me, my brain hasn't updated since like 2016. I mean, look, at a certain point, this is just our future, right? Sometimes I get recommended a song on Spotify and I think, wow, that's so cool and unique. I'm so special. And I go to the profile and I see that it's from a TikToker and I get really sad. It happened 3 separate times just in the last month while I was writing this video. Make it stop. I thought we had something, man. But let's bring it back more generally now. Because artists aren't the only ones creating on this app. It's everybody. Whether you're trying to promote your music or you're just having fun, the algorithm is built off of user-generated content. So, what about the money? Look, that's great and all, but if we're gonna send the next generation of children down this endless pipeline of suffering and renegades, I might as well know who's getting financially compensated for it. So, how much can I get paid for this? What? You're telling me we're psychologically damaging our children and I can only make a few pennies off of it? You think you could do this without me? That's literally my job. I will have you know, I am the only one around here allowed to induce fear and existential dread into the minds of my devout viewers, not this fucking guy. Ah, shit. And that's why you should go to patreon.com/miacole, where every dollar you pledge goes right back into poisoning your brain over and over again. Streamers, if you gotta go pee, feel free to pause here. The attention economy is one of the largest growing markets for little bottom-feeding venture capitalists. Marketing 101 says people like celebrities, therefore, get celebrities to advertise your product. However, now that celebrity has been democratized and influencers more or less run the world for better or for worse, that means there's a whole new valve of untapped potential growing every day. Join the content farm. These companies want to build off of these audiences to market to them on a never before seen scale, where attention bleeds like oil and followers are nothing more than liquid gold. However, if brands were really smart, they'd start their own little astroturfed online personalities, getting people to grow genuinely fond of them and then shilling their corporate little marketing shell. Buzzword. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a girl in her room alone making videos for her friends and family. And also that Donnie detergent is 3 times more effective. See, I could do this so easily. You wouldn't even see it coming. The longer you sit here watching this, you're just tempting God not to put a mid-roll ad right in the middle of my sentence. I have YouTube Premium though, so that would never happen. Now, while I happen to be a dialed-in little conniving super genius with an aptitude for acquiring women and money, for those that may not be as in the know, let's define attention economy. The attention economy is the idea that human attention is a valuable commodity that can be bought and sold. It can, and thus should, be used for monetary benefit, just like everything else in life. It's also significantly intertwined with advertising, as if you're paying attention to an advertisement, the brand is injecting its little poison into you. After all, human attention is the ultimate goal of advertising. Maximize engagement while informing you about a product. Done. Company, hire me, I'll fix you. These ads also have to be at least a certain level of enjoyable so that consumers don't either resent you or click away. This industry works hand in hand with the creator economy, which is a made-up word we use to feel special. Fuck you. If somehow you haven't figured it out by now, creators on social media make money through advertising. The little ad you skipped before my video, yeah, that would have been money in my pocket. A rough estimate of how much a creator makes on a site like this is about $2 to $4 per 1,000 monetized views. So just remember, if you use ad block, you're taking food directly out of the mouths of creatives and their families. But that then begs the question, if you get paid even fractionally for every monetized view on this platform, how is TikTok paying people? Yeah, TikTokers get paid like shit. TikTok pays creators in a wild ass way. I'm sure if you've scrolled the app for any amount of time, you've realized the various ads they have in between videos. Except, small issue, you can't have an ad in between every video. Otherwise your viewers would beat you with a stick. So like, how does this work then? How do you monetize on TikTok? Well, let me introduce you to the dreaded, sick, twisted, and sadistic system known as the Creator Fund. The Creator Fund is like the wildest way I've ever seen a company try to make up for not paying their creators.
Can you tell me about the Creator Fund?
The Creator Fund, I'm not a part of it.
Why is that?
Partially, it cuts viewership literally in half. From my point of view, it's essentially just a ploy to not give creators as much money. And also, I don't want to give them my credit card information.
Yeah, so basically TikTok just threw their money at everyone and said, here, take it. We're doing proportional splits. Fun fact, TikTok is actually the origin of communism. The Creator Fund is basically like a shared inheritance of ByteDance money. And then creators get paid a fractional amount of that money depending on the percentage of views they brought into the platform. I actually found certain sources close to TikTok, but not directly from TikTok, that claim these creators were making $2 to $4 per 1,000 monetized views, which is eerily similar to YouTube, like extremely similar. It's basically the same split. However, when you actually break that figure down, it just doesn't track. It doesn't match personal testimony and also just basic logic. When the Creator Fund first launched last year, TikTok promised to dump around $200 million in it. Sounds like a lot, right? The issue though is that TikTok made about $4 billion in 2021 and also gets millions, if not billions of views a day. All of which, need I remind you, is generated from user-created content. The app is literally nothing without you, and yet somehow you still get paid pennies to do their dirty work. At what point do we stop licking the boot? TikTok projected it would make around $10 billion in 2022. And yet, despite promises that it would eventually increase the Creator Fund to about $1 billion, we've heard nothing. They've suddenly gone silent about where the funds stand now. Probably because they have bigger things to worry about, but also possibly because Google stepped in to monetize their TikTok clone platform. It's pretty clear that TikTok's solution to paying their creators fairly has been, to put it lightly, a total failure, which is why creators have been forced to turn to alternatives to get paid for their work. A shady industry full of lies, scams, and exploitation, known as TikTok sponsorships. I'm about to do something that could possibly get me blacklisted from all possible TikTok sponsorships in the future. And to that I say, good, stop emailing me. I don't make TikTok. But you know, comment below if I should start one though. As someone in the creator industry, I think I have a unique look into how these deals work. I've looked into how the system is run immensely, and what I've found is it's built off of exploitation. Don't get me wrong, of course there are sponsors that are in fact legit, but I'd go as far as to estimate that around 80% of TikTok sponsorship inquiries are scams. Whether that means contracts with devious fine print, excessive deliverables, undervaluing of work, or just straight up not real. TikTokers are unfortunately forced to sift through these in order to just make money off their job. Wow, I never thought I would be white knighting for TikTokers, but here we are. It's generally good to push for positive change on all platforms, even if they go directly against us. Unless you're on Twitch, in which case I'm praying for your downfall. Whether you like TikTok or not, people should get paid fairly for their work. That's just a line in the sand for me. Hello, dear creator. On behalf of one of our clients, Censored Vape, a vape brand. Oh really? I wouldn't have guessed. I'm sincerely reaching out to you and sending a collaboration proposal in which you will be paid and sponsored to create content to shoot a video for specified vape company. Deliverables you need to do in this campaign. Shoot a video for Censored showcasing or trying it. We will provide brief about content creation requirements and ideas afterwards. Afterwards? You mean after I try your sketchy vape? Only then will you tell me what I need to do? Needless to say, I did not take that deal, though I definitely thought about it. But that's just one example of the kind of emails TikTokers get. It's kind of hard to trust any of these companies, but that's just the reality of the situation. If TikTok refuses to pay their creators fairly, they have to resort to these methods. And according to some testimony I found online, they're still very much not paying their creators fairly. But let's get back to the basics. This whole notion of influencer is just a bit too pointed. All of this is assuming that these people want to be influencers in the first place. Now, to be fair, there's a good chance they do. Not to brag, but this is the most coveted job title amongst teens, so. Yes, I am very successful, thank you for noticing. Only 30K, yet she bought these lights? How does she do it? There are over 1 billion active monthly users on this platform. And according to some estimates, close to 80% of them have tried posting a video at least once. That inevitably leaves room for a good amount of people to blow up without meaning to. Being thrust into a spotlight they did not ask for. One minute you had a hobby, an escape from reality, but guess what? Now you have a brand. What now? Oh, shit. Where was I?
We have nothing to fear but fucking getting killed.
Every day, people on this app go from normal, regular, possibly even functioning members of society to full-blown influencers. And like, a lot of them are teenagers. It's a really uncomfortable fact a lot of us don't really want to think about, but it's true. Teens are unfortunately real. TikTok is ultimately a video platform. However, due to the short and sweet nature of the platform, as well as the normalization of short form across all social media, people also use it passively to contribute to the content well. Much like an Instagram account, people perform for the vacuous void of bots and friends. However, with an algorithm like TikTok, anybody can blow up at any time for any reason without warning, because TikTok isn't just a video sharing platform. It's a social media site. And a key characteristic of all social media sites is the dividing line between accounts. Those who are public figures and those who are passive observers. However, on TikTok, that line can be blurred very easily. And if that's not what you want, I mean, what do you do? TikTok is like the love child between YouTube and Instagram. And if you're a Silicon Valley investor, bro, that's kind of your thing. So your hobby has become a business, and now you're staring down the barrel of commodifying your entire soul for the sake of money, admiration, and followers. Good, you're right on track. Typically, the life cycle of a content creator is it starts out with desire, whether that's to show off skills, make the world a better place, or simply just to get famous. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but it does happen. I don't want money or fame though. I'm a pure artist. You know, I'm just sharing my gift with the world, and you know, I do this whether I commodified my soul or not, honestly. Then comes the discovery phase, where you kind of venture into creating whatever you want. It's never really good at first, but you kind of just have to figure it out. However, you also may continue working on your craft, and after an indefinite amount of time, you could start gaining recognition for the things you make. Congratulations, you won the game. Are you happy? Now with TikTok though, that entire model can be scrapped because the barrier to entry is significantly lower. You're encouraged in-app to feed the content machine, and it can also be a fun social thing to do with friends. A lot of the initial barriers that would stop people from creating content on other platforms just don't really exist here. All you need is a phone. And don't get me wrong, that's great, that's wonderful. I'm all for the democratization of creativity. That's good. Give the world your gift if you truly have one. But not everyone has one. Stop it! The only issue here is that it's so easy that people can kind of accidentally fall into the machine. Low barrier to entry plus conditions willing to spread anything rapidly is a recipe for A, wildfires, and B, teenagers. Before TikTok even launched and the app was still Musical.ly, I was already fascinated by the social implications. But even now, I still wonder, with the largest demographic being teens, I'm just dying to know how this affects high school social circles. Like, what happens when videos blow up? Does that creep into the schools? Or is there gossip? Is there a risk of bullying? I was practically frothing at the mouth for my silly little answers when I remembered, oh, I could just ask one.
Can you tell me about the psychological effects of blowing up?
Blowing up.
Like a bomb?
The weirdest part was just people at school saying, I saw your TikTok. I was like, huh? Yeah.
What's that like?
Weird, because I don't know who they are. You're like my therapist right now. Taking this off. My bad. There was definitely a period of time where there were people at school who said hello to me who I thought were like the popular kids or the cool kids. They're no longer interested in engaging with me socially because I don't have anything to give to them. There's nothing to gain.
This comes with an incredible amount of power, and with said power, the implications are endless. And you know me, if I see implications of power, god damn it, am I gonna get to the bottom of it? The internet is forever. It's already been proven time and time again. People have been fired from their jobs for TikTok. That's the mark of a powerful platform if I've ever seen one. We already live in the dystopia of our dreams. We're all James Gunn now. We've effectively democratized James Gunn. Every day we give the power to change your life forever, whether positively or extremely negative, and we put it in the hands of elementary schoolers. That's insane. You're insane. Why would you do that? This generation doesn't have the luxury of being lost to time. Everything is documented and we just have to live with that. TikTok plays a massive role in this and has a huge responsibility for the giant social media leader of a generation. And that's terrifying. I don't trust them to make good updates to their app, much less my soul. The same company that systematically censors marginalized voices. The same fuckers who came up with the ugly content policy, which I cannot stress enough, was real. This is the company we've put our trust in for the future generations. This is where we're having cultural conversations. Is that not insane to you? TikTok messes with the brain chemistry of these children. The constant pressure to always be prettier, always be funnier, consume more, be active. Why aren't you feeding the machine right now? Your last video didn't get enough likes. Somebody else is getting the attention you solely deserve. You're falling off. You're not good enough. It may not be tangible, but God, if it isn't real. And I know what you're thinking. Mia, how do you know? Why do you feel so qualified to speak so strongly on a topic you have no personal experience with? I suppose I had to tell you at some point. I have an addictive personality. I don't say that as an offhanded remark, that's just a family trait. So when I talk in videos about being obsessed with the little numbers in my phone, that doesn't just come from a place of pure arrogance, which is why I held off as long as I could, but finally in August of 2020, I made my first TikTok. That's right. I've been gaslighting you for an entire year. This whole TikTok thing seems like a really cool app. Let me know if I should start one. Comment below if I should start a TikTok or something. TikTok, on the other hand, oh boy. TikTok, passing out, waking up 4 days later, and suddenly you have 100,000 followers on TikTok. Make it stop. Comment below if I should start a TikTok. Honestly, I'd rather die, but you know, anything for the algorithm. Comment below if I should start one though. I watch shorts constantly as a supplement for TikTok because every time I go on that app, I just wanna... This is by far my longest con. I've been planning this for over a year. I had a TikTok from the start and you fell for it. I got your ass. I uploaded my first video to the app and in under 6 hours, I had gained 10,000 followers. Cause I'm just that good. And I was hooked from there. Instantly, I understood the power of this platform because in 6 hours, I had doubled the amount of followers that I'd gotten on YouTube in 6 years. And luckily enough, I have photo evidence of me falling down the rabbit hole in real time. And it's kind of uncomfortable. 1:03 p.m. first TikTok goes up. 1:49 p.m. 126 views, tons of notifications, and I was already hooked. 2:48 p.m. 10,000 views, over 1,000 followers. I was pretty much ready to quit YouTube. 6:52 p.m. 1,000 followers. And that was the final nail in the coffin. Over the next few months, I continued posting consistently, forever chasing the high of the algorithm. It was almost like filling a void I didn't know was there from YouTube. I became legitimately obsessed with the numbers. My first video to cross over 100,000 views was embarrassingly me doing a parody of ASMR. And then only a week later, I got my first taste of virality with a video of mine hitting about just 900,000 views. Until finally, in February of 2021, I quit. For the first time. I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, it was messing with my head. I don't know how this sounds to you, because if you haven't been in the situation, I don't know if you understand this, but if there's something you've wanted all your life and then you get it, but it's on this different platform, it starts to really fuck with you, because it makes you think like, was I not good enough? What did I do wrong? But like, what am I doing right now? And I don't know how I can explain to someone who hasn't felt it before, but just know it is very real, and Anyway, I quit for the first time, even going as far as to private all my videos. I swear off of it. Until summer rolled around, and I figured, why not try again? Just have fun this time. It'll be easy. So I thought, as a test run, I'll make 3 little videos, and if they work, they work. If not, it's whatever. The first of which, by the way, is the first public video on my account right now, and it's still to this day what I consider my best and probably only good TikTok. And then within 24 hours of coming back to TikTok, I had a video gain over 500,000 likes and nearly 2 million views. And I was hooked again. Except luckily this time I knew something was wrong. I wasn't making these because I thought it was fun. I was literally just doing it to chase a serotonin rush. An extremely powerful serotonin rush that I legally couldn't get anywhere else. I didn't like what I was doing. It didn't necessarily make me happy, but god damn it, if it didn't feel fucking valuable. For once. I know this is all so dramatic, but that's genuinely how I was feeling at the time. What can I say? I'm a dramatic bitch. So I went off and on again for a while. I had a few bangers there, a few misses there. But at the end of the day, finally, when everything just kind of wore off, I just felt kind of depressed. To the point where even now, I can't even open the app. I literally have so much anxiety attached to it that I can't open the app. I've never felt that before. It's genuinely crazy. If I didn't have 99+ notifications, I felt like a total failure, because it was never good enough. There was never a point that I would be happy. And that is kind of cringe. Eventually my presence on TikTok fizzled out and I gave up on it forever. My last video went up in October. And that was it. Who knows if I'll ever return. After scrounging through national security reports and leaked internal documents, I don't really have any desire to be there. But what I will say is when I had to open the app and dig up my past content for this video, I felt it again. It's that little itch in the back of your brain telling you that you're missing out on something and you should just try it again. As if somehow things will just be magically better this time. I ended up with a total of around 160,000 followers. And that's good enough for me. When I had a video hit 1.9 million views, I was in school and I could kind of tell it was starting to make the rounds. People started asking me if I was the girl from TikTok, which is like soul crushing because I had been doing YouTube for like 8 years at that point. Like, yes, this is my legacy. I made the funny ASMR TikTok. Thank you, I'm very talented. Eventually it got to a point where I started to meet people, and it wasn't until like way after we started talking that they told me that they had actually seen my TikToks before. And that's a weird feeling because for me, TikTok is never something I've ever been proud of. I always had that question in my mind, why am I really doing this? I felt embarrassed to be known for something that was like the lowest of the low in my eyes. I'm a creative person. I want to make films. I want to make art. I want to make documentaries. I don't want to make TikToks. And luckily, eventually that's what caused my inevitable departure from the platform. Between the attention addiction, the constant pressure to post, the chaotic nature of the algorithm, it was all too much. I've never been anxious to open an app on my phone before. Say what you will, that's powerful. Point blank, I'm embarrassed of my time on TikTok. I played the game, I won the game, and I hated myself for it. The reason I gaslit you guys into thinking I didn't have it for over a year is partly because it's a joke, but partly because I'm anxious about it. I don't want people to think that I was just some TikToker who got popular and then moved to YouTube. Especially because despite my follower count, I probably got 2,000 subscribers from that at most. The conversion rate was terrible. Like all of my subscribers, like that's YouTube, that's not TikTok. I know it's crazy, the 15-second video platform doesn't translate well to 30-minute video essays. I was shocked too. And it especially didn't help my case that all my videos from 2014 to 2020 are like private. To summarize, to me, the idea of being a TikToker was lesser than. Not because I judged TikTokers, but because I judged myself. Because I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be an artist. I want to create things for you, and I want to be someone because of that work, not because of some dumb little throwaway thing. Although TikTok is powerful, it's not that powerful. I knew I needed to do things my own way. Knock knock, bitch, it's me, the fun police. Oh, what the fuck was that? Let's talk about bad user interface. Like, calm down for a second, dude. It's just an app. Chill.
Both of these fighters have dealt with custody battles involving their children.
What's this? Why are you doing this? Stop that right now. Why you oughta. 1. TikTok now. So after seemingly every single app on the planet copying TikTok, it was clear these guys were just frothing at the mouth to copy someone else. So the second they saw a new social media even gain an ounce of prominence, they were ready to strike. You gotta retain that precious teen demographic. Hey TikTok, maybe stop trying to hang out with minors? Introducing TikTok Reel. TikTok now. This was just a bad move on TikTok's part. It looks strange, it feels strange, and I don't like it. I can't really consume content on the app anymore just due to like excessive anxiety and morals. But when I actually had to open it for research in this video, I saw that feature and I vomited in my mouth, which is always the hallmark of a good feature. Great job, guys. You think the ugly content policy applies to TikTok now? Like if I took a selfie with no makeup on, is a TikTok employee gonna come to my house, kick down my door, and beat the shit out of me? 2, the notification layout. Look, the video's over an hour long. I didn't want to keep editing the green screen. I'm sorry. Sue me. God. The notification layout on this app is abysmal. The recent update, or I guess I don't know how recent it is anymore. I don't go in the app. The one that made it look like this. What the hell is this? Notification organization is something that most social medias have figured out by now. They debated for a while, but eventually settled on this individual/stacked group method. And it's fine, it works, it's whatever. But then TikTok came in and said, actually, fuck all of you, and then did like a 360 kickflip into whatever the hell this is. Honestly, it makes me miss the old method they had where it just kind of threw everything at you and it was like, whatever. I guess people didn't like that, so then some designer on the team was like, okay, let's mess with them now. And so naturally, they turned it into the worst shit I've ever seen. You have so much money. It just feels like it's so obviously desperately trying to induce that dopamine rush in you. Is this cam? 3, designed for laziness.
I'm a designer, so this is like interesting stuff. So the most important thing that I think TikTok has done in the scope of internet culture is they have given in to every lazy urge that the consumer has. On TikTok, you can operate the entire app with your thumb right here. You can comment, you can save, you can like, you can follow, you can access a profile. And then additionally, the only things that are difficult to do on the TikTok app are things that you're not supposed to do. Searching is not the best because you're not really supposed to search on TikTok. The content is supposed to find you.
As much as it pains me to say this, Rose is right here. TikTok is built around the whole idea that the app can be encapsulated by one hand on the right side of your screen. It's got all the necessary functionality in one corner to mindlessly scroll on it. It's designed for laziness. It's tempting you so bad to scroll. Oh, you want to scroll so bad. I know you want to scroll so bad. It's built around the assumption that you as the user will turn your brain on autopilot and just kind of let it go. That way you can effectively be delivered as much user-generated content as it can throw at you. Just keep going down the rabbit hole. Everything's fine. It's all fine. Don't worry about it.
Looking at your notifications isn't the best because you're not supposed to have a detailed understanding of how many people are watching your videos. The notifications aren't meant to give you that much information, just to give you a dopamine rush. The app is mainly focused on getting you to stay longer. So the easiest things to do are the ones that increase retention and do not build a more complex relationship with the app. TikTok shows you videos that are good, but not too good, so that you remember that you can make those videos too.
The goal of the design is to pump you with as much content as you can until your brain inevitably fries over and you collapse into a pit of self-loathing and depression. Sounds like fun. Sounds like a good use of my time. God, do I love it here. 4, comments. Everything is hell. It's all hell forever, all the time. TikTok has become the platform of choice for hundreds of millions, which means it's now unfortunately a place where societal shifting discussions take place. I think this is good. It's all good. TikTok has and inevitably will continue to host cultural commentary, especially with all the young people on the app. Isn't that terrifying? Is it just me? TikTok, a place where misogyny and homophobia can be debated on in non-chronological comment threads of 150 characters each by trolls and teens. Are you scared? Does this not scare you? I find it slightly disheartening, yet also not surprising that TikTok couldn't even get comments right. Come on, man. Do something correctly for once in your life. Please, just make it better. Just please fix it, God. Simply, I have lost it. This app has so much potential, yet they fumbled the bag on every possible yard. Football, I guess. I don't know. Do you know football? I'm so scared. What are you hiding, ByteDance? You have to be hiding something. For a company that brings in tens of billions of dollars, you have to have some piece of information I don't have. Because from the outside looking in, you look incompetent. You're worse with your business than I am at making smooth transitions to the next part of the video. So I think by now it's pretty clear that TikTok perhaps perhaps maybe just kinda messed with my mental health, maybe just a little bit. The validation of meaningless little numbers is unfortunately gonna control my life for the foreseeable future. That's just gonna be something my brain has to get used to. But how does it affect you? Do you get validation from creating on TikTok?
I got a bit of an ego boost for a little while. I definitely felt cooler than I actually was for about like 2 weeks, and then it wore off. I became like more obsessive than I already was about like checking viewer count, because I remember I knew that the video was gonna go viral after it got like 10,000 views in the first hour. I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going.
TikTok has clearly seeped its way into the minds of others. And when follower counts and likes run the entire attention economy, it's not hard to see why. To many of us, especially those who actively rely on TikTok as a job, it dictates potential future monetary success. Everyone is chasing after number go up. It's not just me anymore. You fuckers fell for it too. TikTok leveled the playing field and then we all took the bait. That's embarrassing for you. Not for me. You should expect this kind of behavior from me. Not from you. Very disappointed. People, whether consciously or not, judge others based on this perceived social hierarchy based on the little numbers in our phones. And when I finally take a step back and analyze this, it feels more and more dystopian than ever, especially considering the prevalence of kids on this app. For a while, I felt so alone when I was younger. I started making videos when I was 9, and I constantly obsessed over it for years. I fell into that constant feedback loop from a really young age, and for a while it really was just me. Everywhere I looked, I couldn't find community. But now I realize I was just the first through the cracks, a mere test subject for my peers before the floodgates burst open. And in that sense, I feel that I have a tremendous head start. That's why I do what I do. I know how to navigate this. This new age social scene to me is not new. All that's new is that everyone's a creator now. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna hold my hand. Mia's here. I've been around the block a few times, kid. I know what's up. I'm going insane. Everyone is playing the social media game and it's almost comical. Again, you fuckers fell for it and it's so funny. Yes, I fell for it too, but at least I did it on purpose. Loser. Everyone is just like me for real now. And in that community, I almost feel a sense of camaraderie. And also everyone's drowning. Oh God, please help me, I'm drowning. Please help, oh God, I don't want to die. Why are we doing this to ourselves? With so many disillusioned by the social media landscape, why are we still in it? I'll tell you why. It's the goddamn numbers. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. It wasn't until a few months ago that I was able to escape the social validation race. And the only reason I was even able to partially escape was just because I have a real drive and passion to make art. I just wanna make art. What am I doing? So instead of playing the game, I gave up. Screw the game. Everything I said in the Mr. Beast video, none of it's canon. Not in the Mia lore. Try to keep up. Anyway, so now that we all understand that we're playing a never-ending game of social validation, like the good little perpetual motion machines that we are, what is the kind of content that achieves heights on this platform? The peak of human performance, the very best that humanity has to offer, the thing that every single one of the higher-ups at these companies want you to see now. If I was your boyfriend, never let you go. What the fuck? What is this man? Who is he? Bring him here. I have questions. Do we gotta do this every time? Why is it always just some guy? Did you people even watch chapter 7? Have you learned nothing? You do know this is online forever, right? What do you do if you try to get a job and your boss sees this? Me personally, I would just die, I think. The algorithm doesn't reward high effort. It may elevate certain creators, but internally, TikTok is looking for something anybody can do. That's the appeal. That's the machine. It wants you to produce. TikTok understands they need to keep the barrier to entry low. Capture more consumers and take them from passive viewers to active creators. That's the whole business model. The trade-off being your time, effort, and creativity, and in return you get 3 community guidelines violations. In my time on TikTok, I got a community guidelines violation about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, you could say I'm kinda cool, and also threatened the president. At some point, I just kind of assumed my account would get banned. If TikTok doesn't like something, they have no problem censoring it. And when they choose to go after you, they go after you hard. TikTok's community guidelines on the surface are pretty standard, however, are forced pretty sporadically and always have exceptions, exemptions, or just times where they want you gone. For example, TikTok doesn't want social activists using their platform. Point blank. If you attempt to do social activism on the platform, you better hope it's an issue they agree with you on. Because as shown time and time again, if you even dare criticize China, you're in for it. You can be blacklisted or removed altogether. Fun! One interesting little through line I found while digging through all the articles showcasing TikTok's various controversies. For example, the ugly content policy, where I cannot stress this enough. TikTok censored people for not being hot enough. Anytime this company is accused of doing anything bad, their defense is always the same. Senator, this policy hasn't been in place for over a year now, actually. Like, even their legal team has been TikTokified. Ugh, Mr. Speaker, that obstruction was so last season. Which is like, kind of genius, right? Like, it just blows right past the fact that that is an admission. They just pled guilty. Other times they'll use the anti-bullying defense, which they're very well known to use.
At that time, we took a decision to not allow conflict on the platform, and so there was some incidents where content was not allowed on the platform, specifically with regard to the Uyghur situation.
The Uyghur situation? You mean the human rights atrocities? That situation? So you did censor it then. I'm going insane. This company is just so purely evil. Separately, in regards to the ugly content policy, they said this
represented an early blunt attempt at preventing bullying, but are no longer in place.
I can't do this anymore. Basically, in summary, they did that shit. However, outright banning isn't their only tool in their arsenal to suppress little troublemakers who may or may not speak out against tyrannical governments. Another effective method they use is shadow banning. Because the issue with outright violations is it's such a thing, right? If you take down someone's video about certain countries engaging in barbaric disregard for human life, people may start asking questions. So the next best thing is shadow banning. First things first, over the last month, I've unfortunately become an expert on TikTok. So I can tell you shadow banning is in fact real, but potentially not what you may think it is. Shadow banning is where TikTok may take a certain account or even just a certain video and just widely diminish the reach. Therefore, the video won't spread, effectively taking it down without taking it down. Basically some kind of nebulous strike on the account. I asked Rose if she'd ever been shadow banned, and she said no. Anyway, no, but she also made a very good point about what people think shadow banning is versus what it actually is. There's kind of a lot of rumors surrounding it. People just kind of throw the term away, but it is real, but it's not what most people think. This tool is particularly devious for those who use TikTok to spread awareness to certain issues, as it just simply point blank silences you without you knowing. And even better, most likely, it probably makes you feel like you did something wrong, not them. Maybe people just don't care what you have to say anymore. Sorry, it's all your fault actually. Say what you will. Very effective way to shut down your ideological opponents. Plus 10 points for just pure deviousness, and minus 100,000 for everything else. But what does this mean for future generations? Let's think about that for a minute. Gen Z is now growing up in a world where not only does big tech dominate what you see, but also what you say. First of all, hot. Second of all, no. A world where we have to create new phrases for what we're trying to say just to get past algorithmic censors. Free speech is a myth on these platforms, and I'm not saying that in a brain-broken Elon way. I mean, if you have criticisms of governments or systems that are in place that have connections to the apps you're doing that on, you can just get shut down for having the wrong opinion. Not an excuse to be racist, by the way. I'm particularly talking about authoritarian governments, not you little sweaty, little stupid little gremlin. I'm talking about good faith criticisms against governments, not demented hate raids against gay people or whatever you people do. However, TikTok is such a massive and ubiquitous app, two things can be true at once. Where in one corner people's opinions are being weakened, in another they're being emboldened, and it's all connected to the algorithm. Yes, of course, I'm once again talking about radicalization.
There definitely is both directions. I've seen people pulled further to the left through TikTok, but it's much, much easier to get pulled to the right on TikTok just because of the, like, alpha male content that gets reposted on there. I think that, you know, spreading misogynistic content is especially popular these days, and that can pull people very easily over to the right. It is a thing. Radicalization on TikTok is, like, happening.
Cause the pain never stops. Yes, I'm still here. Yes, I'm still on your screen. You've made it this far, admit it. You kinda wanna see how this ends. I promise you, it's not what you'd expect. When will it end? I'm sure this may shock you by now, but TikTok's algorithm is actually kind of crazy. It's well documented that the algorithm is specifically optimized for users to fall down rabbit holes. But what if I told you there was even a better way to maximize viewer retention? That there was an even more effective method for keeping people hooked up to your app for longer? Drawing emotion from the minds of the masses can increase their attachment to the content and therefore the platform in front of them. So why not feed them a constant stream of opinionated content for them to react to and continue the perpetual content stream? The backlash to the argument that doesn't exist yet. They're playing 4D chess with your very minds. So it sends you down these rabbit holes. It profits from your downfall and then continues throwing you further and further. I'll try to be brief because radicalization is a difficult topic to encapsulate, especially in just one chapter of a bigger story. It says 18 plus on here, so I'm allowed to have it. Essentially, the typical end goal of radicalizing an individual is usually like political polarization, where every belief that they may hold is squeezed for every ounce of nuance it has. However, on TikTok, there really isn't a motive. They don't care if you're left-wing or right-wing, they care about profit. Radicalization is just another thing that happens on the platform, and as long as it's serving its purpose and driving engagement, it's allowed to stay. TikTok doesn't have a political agenda, except for issues involving China. But what TikTok does have is an affinity for profit, and that's why this happens. Political content on TikTok is perfectly designed to fit this goal. It's short, quick, and easy. You throw out a sassy quip with no time for response, and bam, you've owned your political opponent. Don't provide nuance, don't give time to a counter argument, just be based as fuck. You have only but a few seconds before your viewer inevitably moves on to something else. Keep the instant gratification machine going. And as I already discussed, the culture on TikTok is inherently toxic. Couple that with the shitty UI of the comments and the shortened nature of the discussions, and suddenly you have yourself a goddamn mess. It's the worst. Everything is bad. There's really no other way to say it. Everything just simply sucks. The effects of this radicalization, I don't know. No one really knows. We got some good ideas like it's bad, but unfortunately the only long-term study we can really conduct right now is the one we're all taking place in at this very moment. We are all test subjects in this infinite echo chamber for billionaires just to make more money. Is it really worth it? Yes, this has real-world effects. The general pipeline is it forms on TikTok, it spreads to Twitter, the discourse begins, the reactionaries take their sides, then the centrists come in, now it's on cable news, then Tucker Carlson goes on his show to talk about inflatable anime girls or something, and now suddenly your grandparents are frantically calling asking what a waifu is. I don't know, leave me alone. We see it time and time again, and yet the only people that profit from it are the people at the very top. Why don't I get a cut of the January 6th money? The effect of this constant radicalization is pretty easy to spot. I'm sure in the coming years, brain broken will be added to the dictionary, and we're all just a little bit brain broken, aren't we? I mean, for God's sakes, the richest man in the world is out here tweeting about pronouns. I love you, but please turn off your phone or give me a doll. I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart. And believe you me, if I could somehow connect this to TikTok, you know I'd do it in a heartbeat. I just don't have the proof yet. After just mere hours of use, the algorithm, and thus TikTok, can know an uncomfortable amount of information about you. And that information is actually really cool because it means the algorithm can give you better recommendations and maximize your enjoyment of the app, and also data logging. Yeah, okay, so basically TikTok is stealing your data and putting it in cloud servers that may or may not be accessible overseas in China. LMAO, raffle, lol, XD, rolling on the floor, kicking and screaming. In 2020, TikTok was almost banned by the Trump administration, which, and this is gonna be a hot take, don't show this to Twitter. For all the streamers watching, put chat in follower only mode. This is gonna be a moment. He might have been right? Like I hate to agree with the guy, but the based actually, sorry, I think he might have been ahead of his time. Because now in the last few years, we have the full scope of what's going on here. Between data leaks, class action lawsuits, and hacking scares. Recently, the new trend has been to ban TikTok on all government devices. Remember when I said earlier in August of 2020, conveniently right before I unfortunately joined, the app was sued for collecting personal information of minors? By minors, I meant elementary schoolers. What? I sure hope they didn't know they had people that young on their app, because that would be a violation of federal law. Did you violate federal law, TikTok? I'm starting to think we shouldn't trust this company with our sensitive data. Yet we do, and the rabbit hole keeps fucking going. And here's the thing. Every social media has your data. That's just how it is now. This is the world we live in. The inconvenient truth in this situation is that your very soul has been bought and sold multiple times by many data companies. VPN ad. But TikTok is easily the worst offender. The shady non-transparency of their work, plus everything else mentioned in this excessively long video. How much more do we need to see as a society to collectively decide to abandon this app?
Do you think it's gonna get banned due to security flaws?
Fuck no. We still have Snapchat.
Do you think TikTok will get banned due to the security flaws it has?
I think America will do whatever it can to sort of maintain this idea of China as an othered country. Yeah, I don't think that TikTok will ever be banned solely for security reasons, unless those security reasons are intimately connected to the US's foreign policy with China.
Either it's going to get worse or it's going to stay the same. And that's just life.
It's not getting banned. And even if it did, I'd much rather live in a world where people just decided to collectively stop using it and fall out of relevancy on its own merit. Not because we had to have the government take it away from us like tiny little baby-brained goblins who can't function when one of the 18 different apps that have the exact same functionality suddenly gets banned. But I get it though. TikTok has ubiquity. TikTok is in so many markets because it connects so many people. We're in for the long haul, folks. The next few years will be the deciding factor on how the century looks moving forward. We'll see what happens, I guess. Is it a threat to national security? Yeah. So is everything else, I guess. What are you gonna do about it? So, yikes, right? You see what I mean? You see what this app is doing to me? You see what it's doing to us? TikTok is not your average social media. It may feed on attention and profit from its users, but the more you look under the surface, the deeper you realize the cracks go. And it'll never get better, actually. Yeah, it's all fucked and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. I swear to God, I'm just gonna keep falling down the Savannah Brown pipeline until I inevitably dip from this godforsaken platform. I hold so much contempt for every action that led me up to this moment right now. But hey, you know me. I see a problem in society, I know just what to do. Time to make another high-effort YouTube video in a futile attempt to escape the label I once clung to so desperately. The joke here is I'm going through an identity crisis and I don't know what I want anymore. So, what's the conclusion? What's the big picture?
How does TikTok affect your mental health?
I think it just adds on to it, like adding salt or pepper to a nice pasta alioli.
Poorly is all that the social media does. It perpetuates lethargy. You can open up TikTok in your bed and just scroll for 15 hours. It's easy as hell. Undeniably negatively. It makes me more anxious, probably makes me less sociable.
TikTok to me as a creator was draining as hell because they sell you on this like the drug dealer method where they give you a little bit and then your next video blows up. I'll give you a little bit more. Then they shadow ban you for a certain amount of time. Then I'll make you viral again.
So you say that the app like affects you in that way, yet you still use it. Why?
It's addicting.
Why do you do it then? You know, you can log off.
What?
Yeah, you can just like swipe, like delete it.
You can delete it? Wait, can you close the app?
I don't know, man. I'm going insane over here. How did we let it get to this point? How does it just keep getting worse and worse the longer you look at it? The rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and I'm terrified. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. TikTok systematically and purposely addicts its users for the sake of profit. It breeds a culture of arrogance and narcissism amongst its very young demographic. It's had several high-profile controversies, including, and I cannot stress this enough, censoring ugly people. It basically controls all the music you listen to. It profits off user-generated content and then pays them pennies for it, turning kids into pseudo-celebrities in the process, thus throwing them down the pipeline, much like I was. It messes with your mental health when you try to have fun, and then it systematically censors you when you try to speak on an issue and be serious. It collects so much data just to radicalize you and then mishandles that data egregiously. Every ounce of respect or admiration is useless because no matter how healthily you think you're using the app, it'll always find a way to screw you over in the end. It always does. Because they always get you in the end. You've lost. They won. And despite all of this, every controversy, every obvious lie, every unethical practice, they always come out on top because they are in charge now. That's the world we live in.
Whenever someone says, like, I don't have TikTok, I tell them not to get it. I think that the algorithm was very specially crafted to get people addicted.
So you use this app, and when people tell you they're not on it, you purposely try to stray them away.
Yes. It's weird. I know I'm being, like, hypocritical. Like, I have the power to delete the app, and I don't. I've had it since I was in 8th grade, so...
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to sound like a boomer and just like talk like, you know, technology bad. But in this case, technology really bad. TikTok is a terrible place for not only consumers, but creators.
It's one of those many platforms that can have a weird duality between the two. I don't think that there is ever a reality in our current state of the world that it was never not going to be a thing.
I like it and I support it, but I also have my own personal grievances with it. I can't really say it's a good or a bad thing. All we can really do is critique and ask and try to shine lights on, I guess, things we view as wrong on the platform and be like, hey, this could be better. Because TikTok's not going to go away. I think we just have to critique it for the better, in my opinion.
People often criticize me for my conclusions not having simple, clear, concise, and actionable steps forward, so I'm gonna say this as simply as I possibly can. Delete the fucking app.
Tragedy from when I was 13. She has a broken heart. Is there anybody left to fix her at all?